Let's start it with our first news. Jiri Prochazka once again proved why he is one of the most unpredictable and entertaining fighters in the UFC, as he delivered a spectacular third-round knockout victory over Khalil Rountree. Despite being down on all the judges' scorecards leading up to the finish, Prochazka found a way to turn the tide in classic Jiri fashion through chaos, resilience, and sheer willpower. From the opening bell, Rountree looked composed and calculated. His striking was sharp, his movement crisp, and he consistently found success landing clean shots on Prochazka. As the fight progressed, it became increasingly clear that Rountree was winning the exchanges and controlling the pace. Jiri, known for his unorthodox style and willingness to take risks, seemed a step behind, absorbing punishment while searching for his moment to strike. By the end of the second round, all three judges had Rountree comfortably ahead. But in true warrior fashion, Jiri refused to fold. Early in the third round, the momentum began to shift. Prochazka started applying pressure, forcing Rountree to fight off the back foot. Then, in a stunning turn of events, Jiri unleashed a perfectly timed right hand that sent Rountree crashing to the canvas. The referee immediately stepped in, waving off the fight, sealing another unforgettable comeback for the former light heavyweight champion. The MMA community erupted with reactions. Former Bellator champion and current UFC lightweight contender Michael Chandler summed it up perfectly. Jiri versus Rountree is why we love this sport. Anyone, at any time, can turn the tide. What a fight! During the bout, welterweight contender Belal Muhammad commented live, saying, "Jiri is nuts. Khalil needs to stay away from the chaos." After the knockout, he doubled down, laughing, "Stay away from the chaos with Jiri." Renowned MMA journalist Ariel Helwani couldn't contain his excitement either, posting, "Holy Jiri, let's go. What a comeback." Veteran UFC fighter Matt Brown chimed in, calling Jiri his hero, while former UFC champion Anthony Pettis labeled it the fight of the night. Rising bantamweight Adrian Yanez described the clash as absolutely nuts, and former welterweight king Kamaru Usman echoed the sentiment, reacting with, "Holy Jiri is a madman." After the fight, a bloodied but elated Prochazka spoke with passion and emotion about what drove him through the adversity. "I always try to show a little step forward each time," he said, "but this time, I felt I needed to go through the blood, to embrace the chaos. Like I said before, when the blood war comes, it becomes necessary. And for me, it was necessary to be really in the game, to truly want it, to live in the here and now, and to find a way." That statement perfectly encapsulated what fans love about Jiri Prochazka: his philosophical approach to combat, his fearless mindset, and his ability to thrive in the heart of the storm. His victory over Khalil Rountree wasn't just another knockout, it was a vivid reminder of the unpredictable beauty of mixed martial arts. In a sport where one punch can rewrite the story, Jiri once again proved that he is a master of chaos, and that when the blood war begins, he is at his very best. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out, and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. In a stunning display of power and precision, Alex Pereira, also known as Poatan, defeated Magomed Ankalaev via first-round TKO, reaffirming his place as one of the most dominant forces in the UFC. The bout was highly anticipated after their previous meeting, and Pereira wasted no time showing that he was in top form. From the opening seconds, Pereira looked composed and focused, controlling the center of the octagon with his trademark kickboxing stance. Ankalaev attempted to close the distance and bring the fight into grappling exchanges, but Pereira's sharp striking and timing quickly neutralized those efforts. Within minutes, a perfectly placed combination sent Ankalaev reeling, forcing the referee to step in and stop the fight. It was a definitive and devastating finish, a reminder of why Pereira is one of the most feared strikers in mixed martial arts. However, the story of the night extended beyond the knockout. In a deeply emotional moment after his victory, Pereira asked the crowd to observe a moment of silence for Jon Jones's older brother, Arthur Jones, who tragically passed away at the age of 39. The entire arena fell silent in respect, honoring the late NFL player and brother of the UFC heavyweight champion. Jon Jones later responded on social media, writing, "Wow, Alex," followed by a praying hands emoji, a simple yet heartfelt acknowledgement of Pereira's gesture. The MMA community reacted swiftly to both Pereira's performance and his show of sportsmanship. Justin Gaethje wrote, "Alex Pereira is pure inspiration. Came back and reclaimed the throne not once, but twice. Beast." Former double champion Henry Cejudo echoed that sentiment, saying, "Poatan is back on top of the world." Max Holloway's reaction was brief but telling. "Damn." Featherweight contender Diego Lopez added, "Poatan left no chance today, the champ is back." Renato Moicano went even further, calling Pereira the best Brazilian fighter to ever exist. Derek Brunson reacted in disbelief, saying, "That was quick," while Kamaru Usman simply stated, "Geez, Poatan came to thump." Anthony Pettis commented, "Alex Pereira is different," and Petrian summarized it perfectly. That was a reminder that rematches can look very different from the first fight. After the fight, Pereira reflected on his mindset and the emotions surrounding his performance. "Vengeance is never a good thing. It's a kind of poison sometimes," he said. "I told everyone before that I wasn't in good condition last time, and nobody believed it. You saw what happened. I don't like to make excuses, but I wasn't well that night. Tonight, I was ready, I was focused, and I wanted to show the real me." He continued, "I had a whole speech prepared, but after hearing the news about Jon Jones's brother, I wanted to do something more meaningful. I wanted to show respect to Jon and his entire family. That's why I asked everyone here and at home to take a moment of silence." Later, UFC President Dana White spoke about Pereira's victory and his growing ambitions. "He's been talking about moving up to heavyweight," White revealed. "I told him, let's win tonight first and then we'll talk about it. But honestly, this guy is a dream to have in the organization. He fights anyone, anytime. He was literally on vacation in Australia and flew over to take a fight because someone pulled out. He's that kind of fighter." With this victory, Alex Pereira has once again solidified his legacy as one of the most dangerous and disciplined athletes in combat sports. His knockout power, respect for the sport, and emotional tribute to the Jones family showcased not only the fighter's ferocity but also his heart. In both victory and humility, Pereira continues to embody what it means to be a true champion. Move on to another news. In one of the most thrilling and brutal showdowns of the year, Mike Perry secured a 5th-round TKO victory over Jeremy "Lil Heathen" Stevens in what was an instant classic for fight fans. The matchup was every bit as chaotic, violent, and entertaining as expected, showcasing Perry's relentless pressure, durability, and signature aggression inside the ring. For 4 grueling rounds, both men traded heavy blows, testing each other's toughness and willpower. Stevens, known for his knockout power, had his moments early, landing sharp combinations and stiff counters. But Perry absorbed the damage and continued to march forward with his trademark brawling style, breaking Stevens down little by little. By the 5th round, Perry's persistence paid off. A barrage of strikes forced the referee to step in, awarding Perry a well-earned TKO victory. After the fight, an elated but defiant Perry addressed the crowd and sent a direct message to none other than Conor McGregor. Channeling McGregor's famous 2016 speech, Perry declared, "Anything I've said that maybe ridiculed anyone in the company, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The king of violence does what he wants." The crowd erupted as Perry continued, "I'm grateful for it, thank you all." The post-fight moment was pure Mike Perry, unapologetic, confident, and completely in his element. He's built his reputation not only on his fighting ability but also on his raw authenticity. Every time he steps into the ring, fans know they're going to see a man who fights with his heart, not just his hands. Perry then turned his attention to McGregor, making it clear that he wants to share the squared circle with the Notorious himself, but out of mutual respect, not animosity. "How could you come here and see this live and not want to take part?" Perry said, addressing McGregor directly. "I for sure want to take part in this. So, I'm lining this up. I've got my fight. I know I've got to do the little fake job, say the quotes, and do all that talk, but honestly, this is the fight to make." Perry emphasized that his desire to face McGregor isn't rooted in disrespect, but rather in admiration for what McGregor has accomplished in combat sports. "It's not even about disrespect," Perry said. "I have all the respect in the world for you, and I'd love to do it someday, for sure." He also referenced the King and Queen of Violence titles within the BKFC Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship promotion, highlighting the prestige of the organization's growing legacy. "You saw Christine with the world title and the Queen of Violence honor," Perry explained. "That's the legacy, that's what we fight for. The titles mean something here." Mike Perry's evolution from a UFC wildman to one of the biggest stars in bare knuckle fighting has been nothing short of remarkable. His performances, charisma, and raw passion have turned him into the face of BKFC, a fighter who thrives in chaos and bleeds for entertainment. With another victory on his record and his confidence at an all-time high, a potential clash between Perry and McGregor, whether in the BKFC ring or elsewhere, would undoubtedly be one of the most electric events in combat sports. For now, Perry remains the undisputed king of violence, a man who fights on his own terms, apologizes to no one, and continues to deliver exactly what fans crave: pure, unfiltered carnage. Move on to another news. Youssef Zalal extended his remarkable run with a first-round armbar submission of Josh Emmett at 246, pushing his winning streak to 8 consecutive fights. The swift, clinical finish reinforced Zalal's reputation as a well-rounded threat, composed under pressure, technically sound on the mat, and emotionally invested in every moment he shares with his team and family. For Emmett, the loss compounds a difficult stretch, 4 defeats in his last 5 outings, and raises questions about adjustments he must make to reassert himself among the division's elite. The performance prompted immediate reaction across the MMA world. Belal Muhammad posted simply, "Statement made. Zal is a monster." Terrence McKinney admitted his surprise at how quickly the fight ended. "No way that was so quick." And veteran Derek Brunson offered a pragmatic read. "Nice sub by Youssef Zalal. I thought Emmett would be livelier than he showed. Still, a valid win." Those responses capture how Zalal's victory combined technical proficiency with the sort of decisiveness that forces analysts and matchmakers to rethink the pecking order. In the cage, Zalal's post-fight remarks mixed gratitude, emotion, and clear game planning insight. He spoke first to the personal significance of the moment, saying it was an honor to represent his parents and the memory of his late brother. "It makes me proud to represent my mom and my dad, and, of course, my brother who passed away, rest in peace," he said, visibly moved. Sharing the moment with his mother mother in the arena, he explained, was something he will treasure for the rest of his life. That humility and family focus are as much a part of Zalal's identity as his technical skill. Turning to the mechanics of the finish, Zalal was candid about what happened and why it worked. He admitted he momentarily misjudged his elevation in the scramble. I was way too high, that's why he was able to flip me over, but credited training, instincts, and a lifelong relationship with his jiu-jitsu coaches for recovering and securing the armbar. He singled out his professor, Koha, as an exceptional armbar technician and described recognizing the familiar grip that turned the exchange in his favor. When I felt the grip, I knew I had the arm, Zalal said. He also paid respect to Emmett's toughness and career. The veteran tapped, both men left healthy, and the mutual respect remained intact. Zalal placed the result in divisional context, contrasting his quick finish with other recent, longer battles involving Emmett and highlighting the emergence of several contenders on hot streaks. He made clear that he's ready for whoever the promotion puts in front of him next. Give him the shot and I'll fight whoever wins, he said. Whoever gets the title shot, I'll be glad to take that. If the UFC has another plan, fine, my goal is unchanged, to be a world champion, and I will be a world champion. Zalal's comments threaded together humility, gratitude, and unshakable ambition. He thanked his coaches and family, acknowledged his opponent's experience, and laid out a direct path forward, more high-level competition and an unrelenting march toward a title. With 8 straight wins and a dominant submission in under 3 minutes, Youssef Zalal has not only affirmed his status as a rising contender, he has announced himself as a fighter with the technical tools, emotional grounding, and competitive mindset required to reach the very top. Move on to another news. Joe Pyfer secured one of the most impressive victories of his career, defeating Abus Magomedov via rear-naked choke in the second round. The fight began with Magomedov controlling much of the opening frame through grappling and top pressure, but Pyfer adjusted brilliantly in the second, turning the tide with a perfectly timed strike that led to a dominant finish. The victory showcased not just Pyfer's striking power, but also his evolving grappling game, an area where even former UFC champion Kamaru Usman took notice, stating, "I'm impressed by Pyfer's grappling." Analyst Luke Thomas described the fight as a tale of 2 rounds, noting that while Pyfer lost the first, he kicked things off with a bang in the second, dropping Magomedov, moving to mount, then taking the back and securing the choke. Veteran Derek Brunson added, "Excellent fight by Joe Pyfer. Now, if he can stop saying stupid stuff in interviews," referencing Pyfer's occasionally brash post-fight remarks. In his post-fight interview, Pyfer was honest and self-critical, opening up about how he felt in the cage. "Mentally, I was there, but physically, I felt so tired and fatigued for some reason," he admitted. "I do cut a lot of weight, and maybe I didn't handle it right this time, but it is what it is." Despite struggling early, Pyfer revealed that the slow start had been partially expected as part of his strategy. "He dominated me in the first round and kind of slammed me around a bit, but I knew if I stayed calm, he'd get tired. I just didn't think it would happen that fast. That patience paid off in the second round." Pyfer described the key moment in detail. "I have big power. I hit him perfectly, right on the ear. I know when I hit people, I usually hurt them unless your name's Kelvin Gastelum," he joked, referencing one of the UFC's most durable fighters. Pyfer continued, "Magomedov doesn't like getting hit hard, and he doesn't like pressure. He's skilled, very skilled, but I don't think he's the kind of guy who will take a beating for 15 minutes. Pyfer was careful, however, not to sound dismissive of his opponent. "I don't mean that disrespectfully," he clarified. "He's a tough and talented fighter, but toughness in this game means something different. It's about how far you'll go when the fight turns against you." The victory was significant for Pyfer, as it marked a statement win over a veteran with 28 professional victories. "That's a finish over a guy with 28 wins and only 6 losses, Pyfer pointed out. "And the only fighters who beat him before were Kyle Baralho and Sean Strickland, and I finished him faster than both." With this dominant finish, Pyfer believes he's earned a place among the division's top 15. "I think this should put me in the rankings," he said confidently. Looking ahead, Pyfer mentioned that he might take a short break to recover. "I dropped a few elbows with my left arm, and it hurts a little," he explained. "As long as I'm injury-free, I'd like to fight again around Christmas or early in the new year." As for who he wants next, Pyfer didn't hesitate to name a target. "I'd like Marvin Vettori next. I have a lot of respect for him, and condolences to him and his family for their recent loss. Marvin's a great fighter, and I'd love to test myself against him." With another decisive finish under his belt and an increasingly complete skill set, Joe Pyfer has established himself as one of the most dangerous and promising contenders in the middleweight division, a fighter whose power, composure, and evolving ground game make him a genuine threat to anyone inside the octagon.